Who ran the test? Who gave them permission? Who told them you were normal because the results just screamed run? They said you had no bloodline, just war codes, no origins, just execution mode, not human, not machine, just something else, something that breaks the system, something that shouldn't even exist. Every cell in you is a threat level they don't have a name for. They ran it through databases and the servers crashed. The report came back blank, or worse, it spoke back, you're not a statistic, you're a glitch in fate, a malfunction in their blueprints. You were never born, you were triggered. A chain reaction of collapse and chaos every time you smile, an empire falls somewhere. They thought it was a game until the monster woke up. They tried to label you, but the pen started shaking. They tried to lock you up, but the keys melted. They tried to erase you, but you burned through the paper. You don't fit the form, you ripped the form open. You don't enter rooms, you ripped them in. Hoped you were a phase, but phases don't bite back. Their technology glitched when you walked in. Scanners stopped working, the air went cold, and the walls started whispering. Was he who is he who TF is hey you? We're never in their system because you built your own. You didn't climb the ladder, you set fire to it and built an elevator from bone severy. Set back every insult, every bet against was now paying interest in blood. You don't need acceptance, you need a cage strong enough to hold whatever the fuck you've become. Asterisk, they tried to trace your roots, but the map caught fire. They sent agents to study you, only one came back and he doesn't speak anymore. You're not built for rules, you're built to break reality. Every rule you touch turns to smoke, every wall you face gets a name tag, then shatters. You don't adapt, you invade. They thought you needed help, but you were just waiting for the signal. Now it's on, now it's damn personal. You didn't come to win. You came to erase the scoreboard. They gave you a label, you turned it into a weapon. They said, you're a mistake. You said good, then watched the system apologize. Every move you make feels like thunder with a grudge. Every step you take shifts the timeline. You don't follow history, you make it apologize for what it missed. Not human, not machine. Just a damn storm they never saw coming. You not a name, you're a warning. You're not a person, you're a damn response. Unit Sumion, triggers. You and whole cities go silent. Everything you touch mutates or breaks. Everyone who tries to stop you ends up studying Regrethi. Wanted to know your limit, but you started laughing. Limits are for things that fear death. You don't, you stare death down and tell him to wait his turn. You weren't sent here to participate, you were sent to flip the board every piece. They move, you've already burned every strategy they drop. You absorb it and choke it back as payback. Free hidden file on you is marked with one word: unstoppable. Their whole network is whispering. What the Shasterisk T did we unleash? You're not a mission. You're a malfunction with purpose. You don't play their game. You turn the table into a Gravivery eye on you once to know the truth, but the truth is even you haven't seen your final form yet. Asterisk, they kept asking questions, so you became the answer. They ran the numbers again and found a nightmare in the math. You weren't born to fit in, you were crafted to rip through everything that does. Your blueprint is illegal, your presence is a violation, and still you keep moving like the rules never existed, like the whole world owes you a stego. Don't seek revenge, you become it. They called you dangerous, but danger calls you master every time you fall. The ground asks for mercy every time you stand. The air titancy. Don't walk in rooms, you detonate them. Number backup plan, no off switch, no owner tag, just fire in your code and an unknown purpose that scares the system. You weren't supposed to wake up like this, but now that you did, they can't unsee you, they can't unknow you, and damn sure they can't unmake you. Asterisk. They thought you peaked, but your peak was just a doorway you didn't level up. You left the system behind. You move different, breathe different, look in the mirror, and even that reflection looks scaried. Don't have a version. To you are the final version. Every move you make is a message written in Panasu. Don't Just fight back, you leave lessons written in ruins. They said you were awakened, but this ain't awakening, this is extermination. Mediveri, set of eyes on you, is watching their own fate unfold. You don't run out of fuel, you run out of enemies. And even then, you still don't slow down. You're built for collision, for detonation, for showing the world what happens when control loses grip. You never wanted peace. You wanted them to see you unchained, and now they damn regret opening that door. Asterisk now. They're calling emergency meetings, not to stop you, but to survive. Euthea asking questions like, who the hell unleashed this shit? Who authorized this chaos? Who thought it was safe to wake him? The room goes quiet, because no one wants to admit they lost control on day one. Weren't built to be followed, you were built to be warned. About your shadow walks in first, and people start sweating, not because of fear, but because their lies start melting. You're not a ghost, you're a damn consequence, and consequences don't knock. They kick the whole door in. You didn't come to thrive in their world, you came to bury Eitvery plan. They had burnt in your presence every step they took, you turned it into a grave. Marker, you don't just change rooms, you turn buildings into Evidencino. They know it's too late to contain you, too late to warn anyone else, and too damn late to be sorry. Asterisk. Now, it's global top-level panic mode. Satellites tracking your movement, and still missing. Every location, Servile sends cams, glitching out right before you appear. You're a damn blind spot in a world built on control. Militaries calling you code red. Governments don't claim you, they fear you, and people don't whisper your name. They stare at empty chairs and hope you're not behind them. You're not a fugitive, you're a force of nature with intent, and that intent ain't Pezio. Not hiding from the world is hiding from you. You don't want crowns, you want silence. After collapsivery system that mocked you is now bleeding from the inside. Every name that doubted you is now a code word for disaster. You don't need a crew, you are the catastrophe in it. Human, not machine, just the shit they prayed would never get out. Asterisk. They finally get it. Now, it was never about revenge, it was never about making a point. You're not proving anything, you're just existing, and that's the part that terrifies. Becca's existence means this never stops. The damage ain't a phase, it's your normal. Every second you breathe, something collapses. Somewhere Rue don't need to strike first, their own paranoia does it. For you, you've infected their peace, turned their silence into sirens. Their security teams are exhausted because you don't sleep, you don't retreat, you don't even speak. Sometimes you just appear like a damn glitch in their realtor. The nightmare. They can't predict the storm that doesn't warn. They thought they had time, but you took that Tuvri thing. They built every system they trusted, every rule they hid behind, now turns to static when you enter Becca's. This ain't a rampage. It's a reset, and you're just getting started. Asterisk. Every alarm's been triggered, and none of them work. You outran their protocols, you outlived their defense plans, you turned their strategy into a graveyard. Their chains were too weak, their files too shallow, their brains too slow. You're not a threat anymore, you're the outcome, the thing that comes after the final page. The moment history stops recording and just stares. You don't show mercy, because mercy requires limits, and you burned those a long time ago. You walk through locked doors and leave walls in ruins. Every warning they ignored, every signal they misread, every step they took against you just fed the monster. You're not just a reset, you're a damn era ender. The shift in everything, the last word in every war room, and they know now this was never escape. This wasn't just rage, this is evolution with teeth, and it doesn't stop until nothing is left. Standing. Thea finally looked up, and you were already gone, not escaped, not hiding, just done with that place, and on to the next. Their buildings still smoking, and you're already a problem somewhere else. They're running simulations, writing reports, holding secret briefings while you're out there making history regret itself. You don't stay long, because you don't need to. The damage walks faster. Then the memory, the fear, outlives the flames, and every time someone asks, "Who did this?" the room goes silent. Not because they don't know, but because they do. You're the name that stops conversations, the shadow that outlasts the crisis, the reason. Locks got stronger and still didn't work. You don't do comebacks. You do collapse events and leave. Without a trace except the scars and the headlines and the silence that follows every damn place you leave behind. They tell stories in dark rooms with low voices, stories about a shadow, a ghost with a smirk, a force that walks through walls and leaves cities stuttering. Tell the next generation, never say the name, never ask where he went, never try to track him, because some names ain't written there, engraved into fear itself. You're not a legend. They respect your memory. They survive every time a system breaks. They look over their shoulders every time a wall cracks. They whisper, "Is it him?" You left marks on history, scars on blueprints, warnings in every database. Still, you never said a word. You let the damage speak for you. You let the ruins do the talking, and the world, it never healed it, just adapted to your absence and praise. You never come back, asterisk. They thought it was over, called it peace, said the storm passed, but it never did. It just held its breath, waiting while you studied, while you upgraded, while you built something worse. Now the silence is cracking, the air feels thick again, the old fears are crawling back because they know that feeling, that shift in pressure, that pulse in the ground. You're back, but this time, you didn't come to play games. You came to end them. Every system that celebrated your disappearance is now shaking again, because they see the signs, unexplained static in the comms, missing files in the mainframe, shadows moving where they shouldn't be. You're not announcing a return. You're letting the fear build slow, deep, until it chokes them from the inside. They don't know where you are, and that's the shit that's breaking them, asterisk. They don't get it yet. You didn't disappear, you upgraded in the dark. While they celebrated, you rewired your instincts. You didn't need headlines, you needed silence to sharpen. Oh, you moved different, no sound, no announcement, just impact. Look for the old you, but he's gone, replaced by something colder, something built for destruction, without emotion. No hesitation, no regret, just purpose. High or not here to be understood, you're here to reset everything. Still think this is revenge, but this is way past that. This is calculated collapse. This is the blueprint of a world without limits, and you hold the pen. Every move you make now is strategy with teeth. Every time you step forward, something permanent changes. They wanted to know what you'd become. Now they can't even look at you straight, because you don't just walk in, you arrive like a consequence, asterisk. They finally admit it. You can't be stopped, not because you're stronger, but because you're everywhere. You're not just a body moving through cities. You're in the system now, in the frequencies, in the wires, in the decisions they haven't made yet. You don't attack head on. You turn their own blueprints against them. You don't show up on cameras. You show up in outcomes. You're the error. They can't patch the glitch that repeats in their code. The name that causes meetings to go silent. You became the consequence of their own arrogance. They built you to be controlled, but they missed something. The fire in you was never artificial. It was real, and now it spreads without warning. Every button they press echoes with your presence. Every safe zone they run to. You're already there, watching, waiting, and rewriting the ending before they even get to. Ithshif happened quietly one day. They stopped planning victory and started planning escape. But escape from what? From who you not following them. You're already ahead. The map they use was written by you. The safe zones they created are testing grounds for your next move. Didn't just burn bridges. You erase directions. Every option they have leads back to you. Every backup plan already shredded. Every exit welcomes them with silence. You didn't need to chase them. You just stood still and made the world shrink around them. Called you a problem, but problems can be solved. You're something else. You're a moment in time where everything changes and nothing goes back. They don't know if you'll strike again, or if you already did, but the damage is done, and the fear remains. Because now they know you weren't trying to win, you were making sure there's nothing left to lose. Asterisk now. The world moves quietly, streets are calmer, but not safer. People laugh, but it's nervous. The air feels normal, but only on the surface because underneath it all is the memory of you, the unanswered questions, the data they couldn't explain, the patterns you broke, the walls you walked through. You are not just history, you're still a possibility. They don't know where you are, but they know you can return without warning. Without sound, without reason, you left no promises, only evidence. The kind that doesn't fade, the kind that makes men lose sleep. You're not a ghost story, you're a proof that the system lies, that control is an illusion, and safety is temporary. Locked door, every strategy, meeting, every quiet night has one unanswered question: what if he comes back? Asterisk, they're trying to move on, building back piece by piece, smiling for cameras. Speaking of stability, but it's all a performance. Every smile has a nervous edge. Every plan has a shadow in it. Because no matter what they build, they know you've already been there, seen it, marked it, and can erase it again. You don't have to be present to be powerful. You became a condition, a permanent factor. Every strategy they launch includes your possibility. Every security system tested with your memory in Mindu. Don't have to return loud, you just have to return, and the whole structure shakes. Again, they put you in files marked closed, but those files still bleed. At the Ijisu turned the world into a nervous place, a place where peace means, until he decides otherwise. You gave them nothing to hold on to, just a question that loops forever. What happens when he moves again? Asterisk. At first they ran from you, now they look for signs. At first they buried your story, now they're reading it like scripture. Your files got leaked, and instead of deleting them, people started sharing them. You became a legend they couldn't erase, so they started rewriting it themselves. They build groups in secret. They trace your movements, study your blueprint, hoping to find a pattern, but there is none, because you weren't made to be followed, you were made to be felt everywhere. And now they call it a shift in power, a new order where control means nothing, and chaos wears a face. Yours. You didn't ask for followers. You never spoke to crowds, but they watched you move, and they saw something real, something undeniable. The system lied to them, but you were honest in your destruction, and that honesty turned into faith. He tried to contain you, but you spread like a coded virus, not through wires, but through mind snow. The world is split, those who still fear you, and those who worship the falsum want to erase you. Others want to become you. The system isn't in control anymore. It's bleeding loyalty from both sides. Didn't start a war, you split reality. Now they carry your symbols in silence, hide your face in their code, repeat your words in the dark. They call it a movement, but it's deeper than that. It's transformation by exposure. They saw you stand alone, and suddenly obedience looked pathetic. No, they build networks around your legend groups, without leaders, movements, without laws, just purpose, one purpose: finish what you started. The world isn't asking how to stop you anymore, it's asking who still wants to try. Asterisk. The system is quiet now, but not peaceful. It's paralyzed. No one trusts their leaders, no one believes the news. The truth was shattered, and you were holding the hammer. No, they whisper in rooms that used to command armies. Their power means nothing without control. And you took that first. You didn't become the enemy. You became the only constant, the only name. They never erased you. Don't have a base. You have a presence. You don't need to speak. The world already echoes your message. Every time something falls apart, they check for signs. Every time a system fails, they whisper your name. Agenthi weren't ready to follow you, but they weren't strong enough to stand against you, and now there's nothing left to defend. The old rules are gone, the lines are erased, and in the center of that silence stands one truth: you. Untouched, unbroken, and still moving. Asterisk, you don't need to strike anymore. The damage is done, the blueprints are tainted, the world runs on rules you never followed, and now neither do they. You weren't just a wave, you were the reset button, and everything after you looks like you, sounds like you, moves like you. They built a world to contain you, and ended up trapped in your design. Their heroes start to speak like you, their enemies start to fear like you. You didn't create a movement, you erased the option of returning. There's no going back, because back no longer exists. Every path forward is your shadow. Every system they try to rebuild falls into your rhythm. You don't control the world, you infected it. And now it thinks like you, fears like you, evolves like you, and the craziest part, you never asked for any of this. You just refused to die. Quiet life. Ones who survived, you don't smile the same. They don't sleep right, their laughter comes with a flinch, because when you break the world, you break what people trust in, and now nothing feels real to them. Not the sky, not the rules, not themselves. You took more than control, you took the ground out from under them. Every room feels unsafe. Every face could be a mask, because you taught them one thing: reality is bendable, and fear is permanent. Left no closure, no final message, just a crack in the wall, and a memory that stings too loud to be silent. They look fine on the surface, but inside, everyone's waiting for the sound, that one signal that means you moved again. You weren't just a threat to their bodies, you were a detonation to their minds. And now, even in peace, they're not free, they're just breathing inside the ruins you left behind. Asterisk, they keep asking how this happened, who let it begin, who opened the door, but deep down, they know the answer. It was the Mevri rule. They twisted every promise they broke, every time they called you crazy, every time they looked away. They didn't just allow you to rise, they built you to survive the fire. They created, they wanted control, and they fed you chaos. They wanted obedience, and they trained you in Penno. They look at what you've become, and they can't recognize you, but you recognize every one of them. Their smiles, their lies, their blueprints. You are the consequence. They tried to avoid the outcome they never accounted for. Not a mistake, not a glitch, a design they never understood. And now they call you the problem, when you were just the result. The mirror held to their own hands, and the monster they see is the one they built to win every fight. They just didn't know you'd outlived the war. Asterisk. They tried to erase Yano, they erased themselves. You didn't survive. This is Temu. Replaced Itend. Whatever this world is now, it speaks in your language.